Hello everybody, and welcome to a 60-minute goddess flow class. This is a fun class where we awaken the goddess within, take some full cycles around the mat, and just have some feminine fun together. So I invite you to find a seat on your mat, either cross-legged or sitting on your knees, but somewhere you can really arrive and just take a few moments just to be. We are going to work with the Yoni mudra. So we are going to connect our tips of our thumbs and the tips of our pointer fingers. We will interlock the remaining three and point this triangle down. Let's come to nestle this right at the womb space, right at the Yoni, in between the first and second chakra. Yoni in Sanskrit means womb or source, and mudra means gesture or seal. So we can think of this mudra as a source seal or a womb gesture. This downward triangle is in alignment with feminine energy flow. It is a downward energy. So from here, close your eyes. If closing your eyes isn't comfortable, find a spot to rest the gaze. And begin to pull your breath behind the mudra. So inhale, bring it through the heart, past the stomach, to rest behind the mudra. And exhale, release it through the pelvic floor. Inhale, nice, long, deep, where the tip of your inhale rests behind the mudra in the womb, and exhale out the pelvic floor. So here, as you continue your deep yoni breaths, know that this downward facing triangle represents Shakti, the feminine cosmic energy of the universe that resides within. So here we are ushering her awakening by becoming in line with her energetic movement. This mudra allows us to turn inwards, to become more internal, and gain some grounding, some anchoring. So this is a great mudra to turn to if you're ever feeling a little chaotic and just want to find a little peace. This right here is your mudra. So continuing the breaths, long deep breaths where the climax of the inhale is behind the mudra, exhale out the pelvic floor. We're starting to bring our energy downwards, towards the ground, towards Gaia, Pachamama, Mother Goddess Earth, possibly our best example of a goddess, her abundance, stability, creative and destructive forces, this ability to hold space for full cycles. And within that full space, radiating beauty, love, patience, and untamed wildness. And this is exactly what we're unlocking with this mudra and breath work. Let's take 2 more full cycles. Inhale with the awareness to rest in the womb. Exhale out the pelvic floor. 1 more. And exhale. So the intention for this class is awakening the goddess that's already there. We're just remembering. As we blink open our eyes, let's remember that intention of awakening the goddess. Beautiful. Release the mudra. Bring your right hand to the floor and lift your left hand overhead. Gaze comes underneath the left armpit. Left sits bone stays grounded. And take some nice long side breaths into the left body. Beautiful. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, left hand comes to the floor. Right arm reaches overhead. Gaze is under the right armpit. Right sits bone anchors to the floor. Breathe up and down the right side of your body. Last full cycle. Wonderful. Inhale, come up. Take the right hand behind your back, left hand to right knee, and exhale, twist to the right. We're going to hold here. So inhale as we sit a little bit taller, and exhale by drawing our belly button to our spine. Maybe we twist a little bit more, and possibly, if it's comfortable, on the neck, the gaze can go over the right shoulder. Nice big exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, slowly unwind, arms raise. Exhale, right hand comes to left knee, left hand behind the spine. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, slowly open to the left. Maybe the gaze follows over the left shoulder. Inhale, find length. Exhale, twist. Very gentle. We're just waking up the body. Nothing is forced. A goddess doesn't force anything. Wonderful. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, put your hands on your knees, and let's just do some seated cat-cows. So inhale, the spine will round forward, the chest will lift, gaze will rise. Exhale, belly button to spine, spine rounds, gain space in the back body, gaze draws towards belly button. Inhale, heart lifts, collar blades wide, shoulder blades squeeze together. Exhale, round down, cat spine, seated cat. Let's take one more. Great work. Okay, let's move into our first tabletop. So, of course, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, and let's take some classic cat-cows. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart, gaze raises. Exhale, round through the pelvis, through the tailbone. Gaze looks towards the belly button. Inhale, starting with the pelvis, roll through the spine, ripple open the heart. Exhale, spine rounds, gain space in between the shoulder blades, push into the ground. Inhale, belly drops, collarbones wide. Wonderful. So we're going to move into gate pose. So find a neutral spine, nice and long. With our left leg, we're going to kickstand it out about 45 degrees. Bring our right leg in line with our knee and our hand. We're going to place it on the mat behind us. Then we're going to lift our right hand overhead and enjoy a full right side stretch. So you want to see that your hand, knee, and foot of the left side are in line. From there, you can kind of usher the hips forward towards the middle of the mat and relax the shoulder blade away from the ears. Wonderful. Let's take one more full cycle. Inhale, legs stay as they are, torso lifts, right arm slides down the right leg, left hand overhead, gaze under the left armpit. Left side stretch. Beautiful. Exhale, come back, find your tabletop. Let's take one cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, curl the spine. Beautiful. Neutral spine. Right leg kicks out 45 degrees. Left leg comes in line with the knee and the right hand. And then we're going to lift the right arm overhead. So just make sure that that left shoulder hasn't become too close to the left ear. Trying to find space here. Exhale the breath. Inhale, rise up, left arm down left leg, right hand overhead, gaze comes under right armpit. This is such a juicy stretch. Receive one more full cycle. Beautiful. On an exhale, come back to tabletop. Let's tuck our toes, lift our hips, and find our first downward facing dog. So you can walk out your dog here a little bit, lifting one heel, straightening the other. Just feeling into it, warming up the body. While we're here, let's just take a quick check at our hands, that our forefinger is pointed straight ahead and that our fingers are spread. So we've got a nice firm base here, about shoulder width. Beautiful. Let's inhale, lift our heels, lift our hips, and on the exhale, with keeping the height in the hips, slowly begin to lower the heels. If the heels don't touch, it's really no problem. The main thing is the length in the spine. So if there's a bend in the knees to keep a nice long spine, that is ideal. The length of the spine is really the integrity of this pose. Push into the ball at the base of the forefinger to gain some space in between the shoulder blades and maybe drop the head and heart a little bit more. Beautiful. Let's take one big step forward with one foot, one big step forward with the next foot. Inhale, find a halfway lift, nice and long. Exhale with that length, fold forward. Take a couple breaths here. Lean a little bit more weight into the heels. Into the balls of the feet, less weight into the heels. And lift the pelvis towards the sky and the crown of the head towards the earth. You can take a bend in the knees and rest the torso on the thighs. Bring a little bit more forgiveness to the lower back. It's your choice, your preference, your practice. Okay, and on an inhale, we are going to slowly begin to rise up. So we're going to curl the spine one by one, stacking the vertebrae until we come to rise. Roll the shoulders and place the palms forward. Okay. Let's lean into the right foot, lift the left, turn the knee open, and you can either leave the foot on the ground like a kickstand. We're moving into tree pose, maybe the calf, or maybe you want a little higher. Either way, wherever the foot meets the leg, there is a pushing here together, a stabilization point from there of which you can grow tall. So hips are neutral and the front of the body is facing the front of the mat. Tree pose. Finding a little balance. Very feminine posture. The wisdom of the trees. Direct gift of Mother Earth. Here, try and connect once more with your Yoni breath. So bringing the breath all the way into the womb space. Exhaling out the pelvic floor, which will help us ground. Beautiful. Bring the left foot in front and step it down. You can kind of twist out the ankles or shake out the ankles. Don't twist your ankle, that probably wouldn't be good. Roll them out. Let's shift our weight into our left foot. Rotate our right open. And again, find our tree expression on this side. So that might look totally different. And that's totally okay. So again, finding the Yoni breaths. Some anchoring. Exhale out the pelvic floor. So we're bringing energy down. This helps with creation, which is the power of the feminine cosmic energy. Okay, right leg comes forward, step it down. Beautiful. Shake out the ankles, shake out the wrists. Let go of that. Alrighty, step to the top of your mat. Feet hip width distance apart. Open your hands to the front of the room. Feel the lift in your arches, the lift in your knees. With that, tuck the tailbone ever so slightly. Braid the ribs in. Draw the shoulder blades down the back and lift the top of the skull to the sky. So it may look like we're just standing. And in a way we are. But this is very activated Tadasana, mountain pose. What does your goddess stand for? Okay, let's move through some sun salutation variations. There'll be 3 variations, and know that you can take any variation throughout the course of this practice. So let's inhale, reach our arms up, gaze lifts. Exhale, hands come through the heart, bend from the hips, heart leads, hands to floor. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. With that length, bend from the hips, fold forward, exhale. Beautiful. Plant the hands. Step back. 1, 2, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, take the knees. Drop the chest and the chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, come down. So our feet, the tops of our feet should be touching the ground. So we're going to push into the tops of the feet, into the pelvis to lift our chest up on an inhale. Exhale, come down. Relax. With little weight into the hands, push into the tops of the feet and the pelvis, lift the back body, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, down. Push the tops of the feet in, knees lift, back body squeezes, shoulder blades come together. Collarbones wide. Exhale, come down. Exhale through tabletop into downward facing dog. On an inhale, step 1 foot through, then the next. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, grow long in the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Hands through heart center. So here, let's take our Yoni mudra again, connecting the tips of the thumbs, the tips of the forefinger, interlacing the remaining three and turning that triangle down and nestle it right in to the Yoni womb source space. Close your eyes, if possible, or fix the gaze. And like our breath from the beginning of practice is our anchor, inhale all the way down to the womb and exhale through the legs into the floor. Exhale down. Good. Release the mudra. Inhale, lift up, arms rise. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, nice and long. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back, 1, 2, downward facing dog. So if upward dog is not accessible to you, you can always lower all the way down into cobra. Otherwise, inhale into plank. Exhale, take the knees. As the shoulders graze the side body, lower halfway. Inhale, stand on the hands and the top of the feet. Knees lift. Heart lifts. Upward facing dog. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Cleansing breath. Next, inhale, step to the front of the mat. 1, 2. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, wide arms. Gaze lifts. Heart comes through hand center. Let's find the Yoni mudra again. Tips of the thumbs, tips of the fingertips, rest of the fingers interlace, pointing down. You know what to do. Deep Yoni breaths. Inhale behind. Bring the tip of the climax of the inhale behind the mudra and exhale down. One more full cycle. Good. Release the mudra. Inhale, arms lift, gaze rises. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back. 1, 2, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Remember the variations, otherwise exhale halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. So let's take the toes together, knees wide. Pull the hips back to the heels and move into a child's pose. A goddess does not own the world. A goddess is the world. So let's inhale, come up into tabletop. Tuck the toes, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right foot, hips parallel. On the exhale, stack the hips, bend the right knee, fire hydrant pose. So here we kind of want to make sure that our armpits are both equal distance from the mat. So we might need to raise up our left as we drop down the right and put some more pressure into the left hand. Good. Inhale, straighten out the hips, straighten the legs, straighten out the hips. Exhale, curl the spine, bring that right leg forward to step it in between the hands. Rotate the left foot down. We're going warrior 2. So inhale, rise it up, warrior two. Hips parallel. The left hip isn't coming higher than the right. External rotation of the thighs. So the thighs are curling out. The outside of the right knee is pushing out, and we can see our right toe from the inside of our right knee. Okay, equal weight into the feet. So we've got a good amount of weight in the outer edge of our left foot. Beautiful. Let's exalt the warrior. So left hand down left leg, right lifts. Keep the lunge in the right. Warrior two, come back. Turn the right foot towards the left side of the mat. And we're going goddess pose here. Go figure. So we're gonna drop the hips. We want the knees to be in line with the feet, like they're aiming at the same direction. So if that's here or that's here, wherever you are. And then put your hands on your knees. And we're just gonna flow a little bit to awaken some goddess energy. So on the exhale, drop the right shoulder, look over the left. Inhale up. Exhale, drop the left shoulder, look over the right. Inhale up. Exhale, drop the right. Inhale up. Exhale, drop the left. Let's do one more each side. Inhale up. Exhale, right drops. Gaze over the left. Inhale up. Exhale, left drops. Beautiful. Okay, so our left foot is going to come to face the back of the mat, and we're going to roll onto the ball of the right foot, windmill our hands down, step back into plank, inhale, and exhale, move through your flow. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, pull it forward. Warrior two. So we've been here before. On this side, we know what to do. Straighten the right leg. Reach forward with the right arm. So reach, reach, reach. And then on an exhale, drop the right leg, drop the right arm, lift the left arm. Triangle pose. So maybe you're on the shin, the ankle, the ground. Really the ideal spot here is that the spine is long and you can open to the best of your ability fully to the side of the mat. Okay, one big more cycle. Inhale, lift up, warrior two. Turn the right foot in, so the outside edges of the feet are parallel with the short sides of the mat. And we're gonna do a wide-legged forward fold. So hands on the hips, inhale, lift the heart, and exhale, fold from the hips, lead with the heart. Just ensure that your toes are kind of turned inwards and the heels are further out than the toes if possible. More weight into the balls of the feet, less into the heels. Pelvis lifts towards the sky and heart drops towards the floor. We can bring our hands in line with our feet. Wherever you are, if it's possible, relax the head. You can bend into one knee, bend into another. This is a juicy, feel-good pose. Good. Inhale, lift up halfway. Turn your left toes to the top of the mat. Come onto the balls of the back foot, the right foot. Plant the hands, step back, plank, and flow. So exhale, lower down, halfway, all the way. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Engage the back of the body. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. So we've taken one full cycle around our mat. Bring your toes together, knees wide. Child's pose. Take a little break. Woman, you are a spring breeze just beginning to take flight. You are the breath of God, the cradle of light, boundless potential as great as the sky, all packed into a body that itself creates life. Kristen Rogers. So enjoy your time here in child's pose. You're welcome to take a sip of water here. It's kind of like a little midway break, a little pause in time. Okay, beautiful. When you're ready, let's meet back in downward facing dog. We've been in downward facing dog a few times, so let's just take a moment to notice how the sensations may have changed since our first downward facing dog. Maybe there's change, maybe there's not. Let's just notice it. Let's find some stillness. Exhale. Inhale, left leg lifts, hips parallel. Exhale, stack the hips, bend the left knee, and gaze under the right armpit and see if you can see your left toes, and maybe give yourself a little wave with your toes. Good. And then, I just had a look at myself. Yeah, we got to try and even out the armpits there. So we don't want too much of a tilt in the front body. It's really just happening in the pelvis. Good. Inhale, straighten the leg, neutralize the pelvis. Exhale, pull that left leg through. Plant it between the hands. Bring your back leg, warrior two. Inhale, rise it up. So just ensure you can see your left toes from the inside of your left knee, and that you've got equal weight, as in your front left foot, in the outside edge of your back right foot. So no one's working overtime here. The effort is split. And we can soften a little bit more in this place of the warrior goddess that we are. Exalted, so drop the right hand down the right leg, lift the left, keep the lunge in the left knee. Good, come back, warrior two. Bring those left toes in, and we're going goddess. So, sink low, drop the hips, maybe the heart can come over the hips, and the head, the brain can come over the heart, so we've got one nice tall line. Yoni mudra, tips of the thumbs, tips of the pointer fingers, interlock the remaining three. Let's draw it towards the womb. And let's just bounce here a little bit. Shake up that energy. Maybe you want to have some inner dialogue with it. Welcome it to come out and play. Come out and create. Embody it now. Good. Inhale, straighten the legs. Turn the right foot to face the back. Come onto the balls of the left. Hands come to frame the right foot. Step back, plank. And we're flowing. Exhale, lower, halfway or all the way. Inhale, back bend. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Fun. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, pull it through. Warrior two, come on up. So let's try and find stillness here as we flow. Goddesses are always flowing. So let's straighten the left leg. Reach forward with the left fingertips. The right hip is now kind of on top of the left. So these hips are no longer neutral. Exhale, drop the left hand, lift the right. And here, triangle pose. We're trying to bring the left ribs under the right. So our torso is fully open to the one side of the mat. Spine is long. We're not diving into that left leg. We're lifting and reaching in all directions. This alone right here is very similar to the Yoni mudra. There's triangles happening all over here. I guess that's why it's called triangle, hey? Okay, inhale, come up, warrior two. Turn the left foot in, so the outside edges of the feet are parallel with the mat. And we're going wide forward fold. So you can interlace your hands behind your back. Inhale, kind of puff up the chest. Draw the chest towards the sky, hands towards the floor, and exhale, bend forward, heart leads. And then we can, if we like, begin to lift the arms overhead. We've got lots of opposite actions here. So we've got weight in the balls of the feet, the pelvis lifting, the heart dropping, the hands lifting, shoulders away from the ears, and the top of the head drawing towards the earth. And breathe. Let's receive one more full cycle of pranic life force, known as breath. Release the bind, release the hands. Bring the hands to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, nice and long spine. And then we're gonna turn the right foot towards the front of the mat, come onto the balls of the left, step back, plank, and flow. So you exhale, come down halfway or all the way. Inhale, heart opener. Yes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring the toes together, knees wide. Child's pose. Okay, let's lift back up into a downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg, and we're moving into pigeon. So exhale, bring this right leg forward. More so than the shin is parallel with the top of the mat, we're actually looking more so for the right knee to be in line with the right hip. So we've got a nice line. And then we can kind of look behind us and see that that left leg is straight. And before we dive forward, I want to find length in the spine. I like to put my hands on my thighs and on my foot to really lift out of my pelvis. And then from there, with length, however you find it, exhale, can come forward. forearms, forehead, wherever is there. Let's start to slow down the breath by lengthening, deepening with mindful control. Let's not let the mind wander. As soon as we move into these more passive postures, the mind thinks it becomes the driver, and we're really keeping the mind as the passenger. It's just along for the ride, not driving this journey. Beautiful. While you're in this pose, see if you can pull your left hip back just slightly and your right hip forward just slightly. I mean, this could be a micro movement and you will feel a huge shift in this shape. And from here, relax. Like, where are you finding tension builds up? I find that actually tension builds up in my right buttocks during this stretch, so I'll consciously relax my right buttocks. So my jaw, and sometimes behind my eyebrows. So find it and release it. Last full cycle. So make it juicy. And then on our inhale, we're slowly going to rise up, bring our hands on the mat, tuck the toes of the left, lift the hips, and find a downward dog. Whew, feeling that. Walk it out, whatever you want to do to feel it or reset it, honor it. Find some stillness once you've had a good little balance. Inhale, left leg lifts. And exhale, we're going to pull the left leg through. Pigeon left side. So it's a new take on it, but see if you can get that left knee a little more in line with the left hip. I mean, mine comes out a bit, but new science and new age yoga, we're not looking for the top of the shin to be parallel with the front of the mat. It's more so about this line between the hip and the knee. Let's find some length in the spine. So again, if you like, you can put some weight onto the foot and onto the thigh. Inhales, nice and long spine. Exhales, ground and down through the legs. Inhale tall, and then slowly fold over on an exhale. So again here, let's see if we can shift the left hip back, the right hip forward, bringing a little bit more of a neutralization. Can bring quite more depth into this stretch. And relax the pelvis, the tops of the thighs. We actually hold most of our emotions in the hips. We release that emotion. We can clear our energy field a little bit more and have some more space for goddessness. Where else can you relax? Maybe it's the mind. Maybe it's the teeth. Send it breath, send it love, send it light, and watch it transform right before your eyes. Couple more full cycles. Stay present. How wonderful it is to practice. Truly. Inhale. Let's put both our hands on the mat. Tuck the back toes of the right foot and bring it on back. Downward facing dog. This very well could be the last downward facing dog of the practice. So give it your gratitude. Maybe you're walking it out, finding some movement. Maybe you're in stillness. Let's take the knees to the ground. Sit our hips off to one side and swing our legs around front. Okay, so yeah, feet flexed. So the toes are pulling back towards the body. The heels are pushing out. I love to pull the flesh out a little bit so I can find my sits bones. That is your choice. From here, we're going to sit tall and exhale, forward fold. Lead with the heart. Maybe the hands come to the shins, ankles, feet. But again, heels are pushing away from us. Sit bones are pushing back. Heart is lifting towards the toes, and the toes are lifting towards the heart. Really fun little shape. You can see the energy is making. It's like a full loop. Whether you bring more movement or do it more subtly, on the inhales, we find a little bit more length. And on the exhales, the belly button draws towards the spine and the heart drops a little bit further. And let's turn inwards here. Feminine energy really has this physical manifestation that draws from the invisible. And as we sit in these more softer spaces, we get to feel the form of physical while experiencing the invisible. And that really is the magic, the mystery that is feminine energy. It's a mystery. Just let yourself have an experience. We don't need to know. Again, the mind is the passenger, not the driver. On your next inhale, slowly rise it on up. Let's bring the soles of our feet together and do a butterfly. Beautiful. So you can have the soles of the feet closer to the pelvis, or you can have them further out in a diamond. It's totally going to change the stretch. So play around with it. See what you want to do today. And let's do this with the knees, up and down, flutter, flutter. You know, when we kind of activate the muscles, even something as simple as this, when we move into the stretch, there's a little bit more room, a little bit more warmth and forgiveness. So we're just readying ourselves for the passivity. This kind of reminds me of the asana practice before the meditation. Really, we do yoga, asana, to be able to sit. So even as something as this right now with butterfly, we do the movement so we can then release the movement. Do that now. Exhale, fold forward. And do the meditation. So now you watch the mind. You notice it. You put space there. And you return into your body, into your breath, into the moment, into the teachings. Okay, good. Inhale, slowly rise up. Bring the soles of the feet to the mat. Let's windshield wiper them back and forth, nice and slow. Exhale to one side. Inhale up. Exhale, drop them. Okay, I'm feeling like we should do some quad stretch as we've really hit the back, the inside, and the outside. So let's just full cycle it like goddesses, like feminine energy does. Let's hit the front. So let's come to sit on our shins. Let's bring our knees wide, toes to touch. And then we're going to put our hands beside us here. We're going to lift up the hips and tuck the pelvis, the tailbone. And that right there could be enough of a thigh stretch for you. So knees are energetically going towards the ground. The pelvis is tucked, so the pubis bone is lifting up. That could be enough. If you want more, come on to the forearms. And if you want more, you can go all the way back. But move slowly. Don't push yourself into anything. There's no destination. And that's really the relieving part. This is a juicy front body opener. A Yoni opener, actually. I can feel it. One more full cycle breath. Life force, pranic energy, fully alive. Good. Inhale slowly, wherever you are. Rise on up. Bring the knees together. Sit the hips off to one side and slide the feet forward. So from here, move on to your back. And we're going to do some recline twists before we find our final posture of Shavasana. So from here, soles of the feet are on the floor, knees are bended. Push into the feet to lift the hips and shift them over to the left. And then drop the knees to the right. Gaze can look over the left shoulder. But this is a twist. Camera angle isn't the best, but you got to start where you are. I'm just going to come to join you. And this again, your job is relaxing, which isn't as always as easy as you would think it would be. So as a goddess would, show yourself love and compassion. and patience with whatever comes up. And if it's more positive qualities like peace and enjoyment, may you rejoice. Deep belly breaths, really wringing out the digestive system, wringing out the spine. Inhale slowly, use your core to pull your knees back up. Find a neutral spine, so nice long spine. Push into the feet, shift the hips to the right, and drop the knees to the left. Maybe the gaze goes to the right as well, but really the neck will let you know what's accessible, what's right for you. Again, slowly with your core on an inhale, bring your knees up. Let's hug our knees into our chest. If you like, you can bring the forehead to the knees. And then slowly rock and roll along the spine. Just gently. Maybe saying thank you as you go. And then roll onto the seat. I'm all twisted around, but you should be facing me, or wherever you're facing is perfect. And then let's just come to sit once more. Let's find our mudra for the final time. I hope you know it by now. If not, the tips of the thumbs, fingertips connect. Final 3 fingers interlace, triangle points down. Let's rest it right at the yoni, right at the womb. Let's close our eyes. And full cycle as feminine energy is, let's complete this practice the way we began, with our deep yoni breaths. So inhaling, pull the breath past the abdomen into the womb, and exhale out the pelvic floor. Focus on your breath. Focus on the downward movement. If possible, keep the eyes closed as you transition into your final resting posture, Shavasana. Releasing the mudra, straightening the legs, rolling onto the back, and resting. Enjoying the connection between you and the original goddess, Mother Earth, your full support from her to be who you are. Start to deepen the breath. Bring some movement into the fingers and the toes, reawakening the body, the vessel, before you open your eyes. Hear that my body is my temple, my world around me, my altar. My words are spells, every thought an intention. My actions rituals to manifest all that will be. I am sacred, I am divine. Ara. So with that, as you reawaken, begin to take a big morning style stretch. Roll onto the left side of the body, the feminine side. Rebirth. Push into your right hand and come to meet me in a seated posture. So just want to say thank you so much. Even though we weren't actually together, I had so much fun. From my heart to your heart, I honor the light within you. Namaste.